Hello, everyone. Alrighty. The Chinese Grand Prix starting. We have the old first practice. I'm stoked. Hopefully you're stoked. They're doing all the opening shots. If you're joined in yet, you'll see a couple of new fun little things, like the telemetry bar in the bottom right or bottom left. That will be populated with data from the fastest driver. We're going to be doing a little bit of testing on some of these things. They're not quite set up yet, so they are unreliable. As you can see, it says Max Verstappen. It's not actually active. But then again, the live data session is not actually active either. So, hoping that I can get at least a little bit of running of that and see if it even works. It's just so frustrating because like you can't test half your stuff that you develop for streams until it's like actually running. So you're like, I have like an hour window. So, testing it on practice so that maybe I can use it during the race, because I will be streaming at 3 a.m. on Sunday for the race. But yeah, welcome in. Hopefully you find a good seat and are happy to chill with me. They are discussing the new little winglet that is on the Halo. Let me see if I can find that in the Twitter real quick. They're talking about the Macarena wing, which we don't know who coined that because Hamilton was like, I don't know where it came from. Somebody just said Macarena wing, and we were like, okay. Can't see it in that shot. Let me type in Ferrari. Pretty automated, lackluster, not necessarily automated. Automated is the wrong word, but they're pretty frustrated with it. Uncompromising attention. Oh, George. He's like soaking it all in this year because he knows that this is his biggest opportunity to get some serious traction. Here we go. Chinese Grand Prix. A zoom in, pan down of the pit lane, which is empty. Actually looks a lot more bare. A lot of the teams are still getting their parts and components on the cars and ready to go. But yeah. What do we think of the new Ferrari kit? Looks like they're converting over to Red Bull, but it's pretty sweet. I think it's okay. Not too bad. A couple of minutes here and we'll be going live on the broadcast. We won't actually be streaming the broadcast because I don't want to get taken down, because YouTube has already gotten after me a couple of times and I'm brand new to this thing. But yeah, FP1 on a track that's a little bit higher on the complexity list. We have a lot more turns, long slow corners on this track. Why is my graphics still showing Australian Grand Prix? That is interesting. Very, very interesting. Let me check something real quick, because I want to see if... Whoops. Sorry, my mute button hit. That'll take some getting used to. But in any case, we have a bunch of upgrades in China this week. Ferrari's got one. It's the little winglets on the Halo. We've got Haas, we've got Racing Bulls, we've got Audi with 2, Cadillac with 2. So we'll see throughout practice what those are. Again, this is the first practice, the only practice actually, that we are going to get. See, our schedule is, it's a little bit off center, but free practice 1, we've got sprint qualifying later tonight, sprint qualifying, and then Sunday we have the race. So they're showcasing the tire compounds. Race week in China. Here we go. Ready for the Macarena wing for Ferrari. We'll see if that brings... Everybody was saying 10 kilometers per hour. Now they're saying 5 kilometers per hour, being a little bit more cautious with their viewpoints. But we'll see. Fuji next commercial short. Didn't see properly. They're not talking about something commercial wise, I guess. Nothing of importance to us. They're just showcasing flyover shots. Large crowd today. Lots of people. Let me do another one of these. This is what we're seeing on the broadcast right now. It's just crowd shots. A lot of crowds. A lot of people there. Yeah, see. Crowd shots and flyovers. But we're almost there. We're this close. Time for FP1. There we go. We're seeing some of the paddock shots. Getting some sponsors. Stuff like that. Somebody thinks Apple TV is doing a great job with their coverage of F1. I haven't watched it on F1 or Apple F1 because I don't necessarily want to. I don't necessarily want to let go of the F1 TV experience just yet. But if anybody knows if that's any good, let me know. Round 2, here we go. Let me check something. Muted again, dang. Keep on pressing the wrong button. I don't know why it does that. That's that, that's that. Just don't press the big button. So what we're seeing, we got cars lining up on the grid. And it has officially started. Sweet! Graphics are working. Other than that, bottom left. Gotta figure out why it's not working, those graphics. Like I said, this stream is kind of a test, trying to get a bunch of test some things, working some of the lower thirds, get myself in gear. Hopefully the accidental muting is not a trend. The button is, I have to move that hotkey.
At least we reset the Grand Prix qualifying tomorrow.
This is on board with George Russell. Just making his way onto the mammoth back straight that we have here. Over the lip of the corner that takes you there, and he's warming. And already looks like we've had an issue for Franco Colapinto.
Oh.
I don't think he's facing the right way, is he?
He's backwards at 9, isn't he? Yeah. So
Colapinto is facing the wrong way.
On the outlap. Tyre temperatures are going to be critical this weekend. Recharging your batteries, so you start with a full battery at the start of the lap, is obviously going to be crucial. But to do that, you have to go slower at certain points. And it is, shit, it's 12 degrees.
Find out what happened there.
Jumper weather. I mean, it does feel slightly warmer than that in the sun, but these tyres are not.
One you Joe. Hey, what's up, man?
That's why Franklin just got straight round without, not even on a push lap. That's just out of the box.
Let's have another look. Franco Colapinto.
Oh.
That's swapped on very early as he approached the
Spin.
Well, that's like Verstappen's
Spin for
qualifying
Colapinto.
moment where he's
That's not the way you go.
Anything. Grip level very low, but that rear
Wrong
actually
direction.
locks
Yeah,
solid
he was
as he's
spun
just
backwards.
taking the brake really, and that's not a stamp coming into 9. You're coming through the right-hander of 8, bringing it back. It's a bit bumpy.
Now watching
Tyres,
Lando Norris.
and
Maybe
that
they'll
rear
pop up
actually is
a
ready to lock
shot
as soon
of
as
somebody will post
as soon as you get
the
left pedal.
spin.
We are seeing cars being
Early,
snappy as
getting used to
anything.
things.
Between Verstappen and Piastri, both hitting the wall last week. Different areas of the track and different areas of the corner. You've got braking phase for Verstappen, exit phase for Piastri. Here we go.
Getting on with it immediately. Lewis Hamilton, winner of the sprint
Lewis
race here
Hamilton
last
getting
year.
on with it, they said.
Lando Norris.
As he starts a flyer.
Alongside, had a bit of an issue.
Yeah, my
He's had pace around this circuit.
my
in
graphic
the
is
past,
working, but
struggled
it's
sometimes
not.
to put it together
It's still
across
on
the
its like
entirety.
backup data.
Hamilton's really
That little
backed
bottom
into Norris, I think, on the end of his out.
bottom left
Here we go. Was Lando thinking
telemetry
he was
data
gonna sneak
thing.
past
Testing a
into the
couple
final
of
turn?
things.
Oh, wheel to wheel.
Ooh, wheel to wheel on
In
Lando
first
Norris with
practice,
Lewis
two
Hamilton.
champions,
They're getting a
millimeters
little
apart.
close to each other.
Lewis is backing off. Lando's then thought, okay, maybe he's got an issue, and oh, he's locked up. I think there was contact. I think the right front did just hit the side. So
I'm gonna
Lewis
get a
is
shot of
backing
this
off.
for you.
Lando's then thought, okay, maybe he's got an issue, and oh, he's
Yep.
locked up. I think there was contact. I think the right
Right
front
there, super
did
close to
just
each
hit
other.
the side pod area of the Ferrari.
Look at
That
that.
is ridiculous. Hamilton's now off.
Ferrari
down at 6.
was going in for a
That's your big
pass,
stop
I
there.
guess, and then they got
And
some,
you
they
can
had some
see the flat
indecision, it
spots
looks
on the
like,
tyres, so that's not minor
and
for
had
Lewis
a
Hamilton.
wheel
He
touch.
destroyed the right front. He was going so slowly
What?
at the end of his outlap. So Norris thought he must have an issue. I'm going to carry on doing my thing. I want to keep my tyre temp. I can't back
Having
off and go
my
suddenly
thing.
10 seconds slower. But that probably means he's got no tyre temp at the start of this push.
On board, Lewis Hamilton heading to turn 6. Another moment in the opening minutes of practice.
There's a lot of runoff down there at 6, so he's approaching with high speed, and it's another big rear lock. Now, I want to see how that active aero was
Gonna say,
attaching.
we've got 4 straight zones for the active aero, but it looked like it was closing as he went.
Brakes locked up.
Yeah, I want to see that again, looking at the rear wing, because that was as he hit the brakes, a big stop. So different to Colapinto's on the outlap, where he was through the corners, you're not opening the rear wing. But for Hamilton, it looked like he was hammering the brake pedal, still attacking that hard, cold tyres, with way less downforce than he was expecting as the rear wing was still shutting. So a little bit like you'd have DRS sometimes staying open, or you'd have the occasional incident in yesteryear. I wonder if that one for Hamilton is simply the downforce not attaching back to the Ferrari quick enough. It's destroyed that set of tyres.
Yeah, that will go straight in the bin for Lewis Hamilton. It'd be interesting to have another look at that. Again, this is another straight zone around the circuit where the front wing element, the rear wing element can open for the driver to reduce the drag that's required with the power unit settings that we've got this year.
Yeah, so you hit the brakes, they close again, much like the DRS. It's the front wing as well as the rear wing. the front wing is way less obvious, but you can see the turquoise of the Petronas colours there of the Mercedes. And Antonelli comes through and gets a time on the board. But different teams have different techniques of having this active aero. It's not like DRS, where it was a homologated one-size-fits-all system. And then the attachment of the aero, when you hit the brakes, when you back off or you press the button, it's not as instantaneous. And I think Ferrari there with Lewis have found that out. And you know what? That could cost him a lot. If he's got a flat-spotted set of tyres to the point that he can't use them anymore, we've got one practice, he's going to have to burn through more tyres, I think, to get into a sensible place for qualifying.
Yeah, you cannot find yourself on the back foot. You do get a reset mid-weekend. If you're one of our newer viewers, you do get a reset after the sprint race to work on the setup of the car. On board with Oscar Piastri.
So you just heard the ramp down of the power unit into 14. I want to see a whole onboard lap actually quite early on, just to see how this looks different to Melbourne, where we were pretty accustomed actually to downshifting into turn 9. It was nowhere near as obvious. That's Piastri backing off there, I think, into turn 1. As we see the Ferraris now together, Hamilton has to stay out on this tyre to make any use of it. And Leclerc jumps right. How usable that tyre is going to be. You can see the flat spot on it still, but he's going to be putting more vibrations through other parts of the car as well.
Okay, this is the spin for Lewis Hamilton at turn 6.
Hamilton big spin.
The rear locks immediately.
They're showing the onboard of Lewis
it.
Hamilton.
The flat spot is gross on both front axles.
I'm gonna
So there's the unusual wing.
stop my
It's
hotkey.
not attached. The rear wing is not in a fully closed manner as he's braking. This was always going to be the trade-off with this flip rear wing. We saw it in pre-season. They ran it for one lap in Bahrain. But speaking to a couple of the other drivers, they're saying, well, it doesn't close instantaneously,
Set
and
that
that rear
up.
wing
Okay,
is
there we go.
dancing, isn't it? It looks fun,
Hopefully I
but
won't
it
mute
doesn't
myself
shut
again. Dang it.
so quick.
So
And
frustrating.
I think Hamilton there is just figuring that out for the first time at 6.
It's taking longer to get to the position than a normal setup on any other team that we'll see this week.
Everybody ready
So
for
you're
some
gonna
action?
have-
We've
He's
got
going to have a bigger top speed.
a Hamilton
level
spin.
of active aero is going to create a bigger slot gap.
We've had
effectively in
a
the rear wing,
Colapinto
so
spin.
It's going to be more effective.
There was a little bit of a close
think
call
what we're seeing is
between
the driver's gonna have to
Hamilton
manually,
and Norris, which was interesting.
Deactivate that earlier.
They
to make sure
wheel
that they've
banged a
got
little
rear
bit.
wing in the right place when they want to hit the brakes. Otherwise,
It was noted as a collision.
And that, I think, is exactly
So
what
hopefully
happened
that
to Hamilton
doesn't
there. He's
cause
kind of
something.
unaware. He's so used to
But
DRS, which shuts instantaneously.
that was probably the first use of the
This
Macarena
new rear
flip,
wing is funky, but it's
flip wing.
not going to be the
So
most efficient way
I
to,
think
to
that
hit the brakes.
that
They've got to shut that a bit earlier, I think.
being fine-tuned was
Lewis
why
Hamilton yesterday called it the
it
flip-flop rear wing.
flew out of
And
his hands.
got
and
to
just
have
spun.
the element shut, the downforce to be in place. When you are
He might have had a little bit of extra
capability,
speed.
it wasn't fully there. Round went
And then
Hamilton.
just
It's
like kind of
optimised
similar
run
to
this set
when
of tyres. He's running the mediums.
Jack
See,
Doohan
he's
had
continuing
his
on
DRS
forward.
open
Mercedes
through a
1-2,
corner.
George
It
Russell
probably
200
looks
for the
kind of
second ahead,
similar
Kimi
to
Antonelli,
where
who's
he
going
just like
again.
lost it
Fastest sector
as a
1,
result
sector 2,
of that
the
beam
Italian
wing
team.
taking
The
maybe a
ramp
little
nowhere
bit
near
longer
as
to
dramatic
close.
there,
I don't know
is
if he
it?
had
You
it
can
open at
hear
that
as
point
the,
yet, but
the
we'll
electric
see.
power's just being
But
faded
either
out.
way,
We have a VSC.
uh-oh, VSC.
The,
Antonelli was on a purple lap too.
This is a great commentary box because we see a
Double
VSC and I'm
purple.
looking out. I can see most of the corners, but no reason for it right now.
Could always be a test. This is something that was trialled in Formula 3
Safety
and
car,
Formula
maybe?
2 in recent years, and it seems to be applied more and more to Formula 1 sessions, making sure that everyone's systems are working, something that you want to test at the start of a weekend. The order, Russell, Antonelli,
Testing some systems.
Leclerc,
There is some
Gasly,
debris on
Piastri,
track,
the top
it
5,
looks like.
debris in the middle of the racetrack.
Through the haze. I don't know what that is, but we got something on track. We got marshals grabbing it. Looks like it was from Gabriel Bortoletto's car. He was on a run and something fell off of him. Big lockup.
Well, it's
And
fascinating
then
seeing
something
struggles,
happened, it
Ellis,
looks
that,
like.
we've got some of the drivers in, and that situation with the debris down on the circuit looked to me like it may have been the aftermath of that moment we saw with Hamilton and Norris.
Or maybe the aftermath of Norris and Hamilton. Hajar frustrated at traffic. He's whipping his steering wheel.
Hajar not too impressed with a little bit of traffic there, but thankfully, yes, Sam, this VSC is cleared. And as you said,
Track is clear again. We got Verstappen going on a run. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, and that's actually going to set the Ferrari team back a bit, because obviously they've got all of those new aerodynamic parts on the car. It may have looked like a really gentle nudge between the McLaren and the Ferrari, but obviously there were bits falling off it. It's come off the floor most.
Real quick, I want to test something. Test a couple of things.
And that is going to mean that they're going to take. They're probably not
How
going
does
to
this look?
garage to put a new floor in it. They haven't got time. But that means all of the data from all this new trickery they've got on the car isn't.
Here's the Hamilton spin.
Yeah, and no further investigation there between the two, fighting over a little piece of road. Now,
Want to see the rear.
The Red Bulls this weekend, and you think they're a dark horse, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, I don't know if his winglet was open yet.
In Melbourne, I think we lost in Hajar in the fight. We saw Max come through the field fantastically.
Drifting. That's going to be a meme.
Slide there from Verstappen. Look at the data from qualifying at Melbourne. We saw the Red Bull and that
pretty good spin.
engine had really good top speed. We're not seeing it so
Welcome
much
in. Hopefully you're having a good time.
Speed traps are really
Ready for some action? We definitely got some already, very early.
Because the cars are making
Don't want to see it from Hamilton, but it is what it is. We got some action here from Norris and Hamilton a little bit ago. That created some debris on track, which created a safety car.
But doesn't get to the higher top speeds that the Red Bull.
We got Colapinto spinning around backwards.
All of it grummed, all of its electric motor grummed.
Who is going to be on top?
And I think that could see them.
Still yet to be decided.
Quite well, Max of course had
Yet to be
a terrible
seen.
qualifying session in Melbourne, and Hajar's engine blew up.
It did, and it is a very
Looking
different
at
circuit,
Laura
isn't it, to
McKees
Melbourne. We've
on
got
the
high
screen,
braking
on the
zones, which is
broadcast.
obviously going to help with
Now we're looking at Bortoleto. He's going, he's yellow in the first
fast
sector,
turn.
green in the
It's
second
a little
sector.
bit of a handful for Max Verstappen.
See how he ends his lap.
Of turn 11, but maybe not so much looking at the sectors there for Antonelli, who was actually on a
Antonelli
really good
finally
lap
gets his
until he
purple
had
lap
that
completed.
VSC
He comes
out.
into
He might get a little
P2,
bit of
it looks
traffic,
like.
as we do have a yellow flag out on track at the moment.
We have a yellow flag on track,
Can't see who
apparently.
that is. I think it might be Limbaugh. Yeah, he's come to
Oh.
stop in the Racing Bull. Looks like
We've
he's
got
just
a
moved off
Racing
the side
Bull
of the
stopped
road.
on track.
He's had problems again then with that. I wonder if it's that Ford engine again causing him a few problems. Red Bull starting that engine company from scratch not all that long ago, so even to be here with a working power unit and one that can deploy so well is a great achievement, but reliability may be evading.
But that's crucial track time for Lindblad that he's missing out. F2 don't come here, F3 don't come here. So for him to only have one practice session is going to be tough. But
It is
to not
Arvid
even get
Lindblad that
halfway
is out.
through the session, and that is 100% session done for him. That's
Mr. Arvid
not an ideal
Lindblad.
start at all for him.
Heroic efforts last race,
Of course,
but
going on a simulator,
this time
which he would have
around,
done
not
is
going
a
too
massive
great.
help, but there's nothing like that bum in seat.
Well, 45, just over 45 minutes to go here in
Getting out
Shanghai.
of the car.
And second VSC of the session so far. That is taking a lot of time away from these drivers. Alice, talk us through. Well, there's I was about to say, talk us through
Whoa,
what's going
smoke
on here.
coming
I
from
think
the
it's more in
cockpit.
my world, that grey, smoky, steaming stuff is, well, that's not good. And that suggests that the
grey
low
smoke.
pressure air of the cockpit is drawing in something quite significant that's gone hot.
Something is
You can hear the engine
wrong,
running,
for sure.
so I wonder if there's a transmission fault or a line's blown off something, but clearly the car...
Definitely gonna have lots of reliability issues.
No. So
Rearing their
needs
ugly
to be a
heads.
Quick turnaround
Oops.
for
Rearing their
the
ugly
RB
heads.
team there to get that all sorted. And I wonder if that did hamper in the last sector as well, because we had the yellow flag out, Kimi Antonelli, because again, he was fastest in the first.
He's
and
getting a
second
ride
sector.
back
Maybe
to
the third sector would have had to
pits.
lift off for the yellow flag, so
On
still
a-
6/10 behind his teammate George Russell.
The old
Yeah, the Mercedes pair at the
Motorcycle.
top, Russell ahead of Antonelli, Oliver Behrman in the Haas in fourth, and Charlotte
And
third,
they're
rather,
coming
and
to
Charlotte
get
Leclerc
it.
in fourth, Isaac Hadjar in fifth, Gasly in the Alpine in sixth, which shows us, I think, that this isn't a particularly representative session so far, but it's been so disrupted And for drivers who maybe don't know this
Yeah, there he
so
is.
well, Alex, you mentioned
Wonder if
the
anybody's
simulators.
got a
Every team
video
has
of it
got
yet.
what they call a driver in the loop simulator, but how useful are they for a
Had
driver
drive people in
to
rage
learn track
moments.
like
Yeah,
this?
he had a rage
They'll
moment
always, so
earlier.
that all the F1 teams will have their simulators up and running throughout the
We're
entire
under VSC.
weekend. So they'll
That's
have
the reason
simulator
why.
driver that will be on there working all hours that God sends for them to learn setups. They'll be trying stuff, and that will then
Still
be
on
fed
track.
over to
got
the
other
George
drivers
Russell, if you
pulling
talk about
around.
Mercedes and the drivers on track.
VSC, let's see
So
if
it's
we got
crucial,
a
but of
video
course,
of what happened for you.
Full-time
Yeah,
drivers.
some
will get
photos of him
opportunity
getting
to-
out of the
to use
car.
simulator, but they will do the
He
least
had
amount
a
of
little bit of a
simulator
smoky
compared to
situation in the
drivers,
cockpit.
of course. So hugely important.
Gray
I think
smoke
this-
too, so
these new
probably
regulations
compromised
is
something.
even more
Let's get into the air
with finding
intake.
out it's all so new. We're going to circuits for the
Leading to
first
the
time
cockpit
with
that
these,
wasn't supposed to
these
be
new
there.
regulations. It's even more important for that simulator.
Bunch of drivers
to
are
be
in the
running
pits
and
right
that
now.
Simulator driver to be passing on that feedback, which effectively then goes onto the drivers.
And I think that's what a lot of the teams and engineers will be feeding back. Honda
Yeah, there's
and
some
their
smoke.
power unit in the back of this Aston Martin car obviously has had some problems so far this season. I think while they're fixing the mechanical problems, there are problems on the car as well. We know it's overweight, but they're doing some aerodynamic development
tractor
work
is
on
terrible.
this car. Just looking at the racing bull there, that's an unusual sight because the steering wheel.
You are meant to put that back on, aren't you?
Steering wheel is
The Marshalls
on
have removed
the top
it.
of
Now
the
the Marshalls
car.
have got what look like those washing up gloves on. That's usually
Have
put
they
on if there's
forgotten
some
that
sort
the,
of hybrid system on the
steering wheel's on the car?
for safety, so they don't get buzzed by the system. I wonder if
Huh, what the heck is
that's
going
what's
on?
gone on there. Is a hybrid system fault? Maybe we saw one of the MGUs or some other issue with that electrical trickery. That's why we saw a bit of smoke.
People are getting flagged already.
Hulkenberg, he's going to be looking forward to a much better weekend, isn't he?
Hulkenberg looking for a better
19th
weekend.
place at the moment.
We have a
His teammate
VSC
did
at the
a
moment.
Fantastic job last time out, but he's still a little bit off his
Arvid
teammate.
Lindblad
Sam, he's,
had a technical
seems
issue,
happy at the moment.
was
Well, he won
smoking,
Le Mans with Porsche,
from the
but,
cockpits.
this will be his debut race without him.
had to get out of the
Because he
car.
didn't get
Lewis
to start
Hamilton
last
had a
week.
spin
And,
earlier,
I think
probably
while he is
due
maybe
to testing of the
back
Macarena
at the
wing,
moment,
and
he's one of those
Colapinto
drivers
had a
very
little bit
good,
of a spin, ended up
very
backwards.
analytical, very thoughtful.
But we got
And I
cars
think
on
this
track
generation
now.
of
Leclerc
cars
is out
should
there.
But maybe Bortoletto at this point has more. is
This
more
was an incident
comfortable
between
as
Norris
overall
and
speed.
Hamilton where they got a little bit too
That Audi car, I
close.
think, is developing
Had a little bit of
more.
an
They've got
knock.
a new front wing on already.
Lost some
Hamilton going through that
debris
front wing
on
over.
track.
That's-
Caused a little bit of a safety car. Excuse me.
Can't get used to it.
It doesn't look right, does it? But clearly, something
Arvid
that
Lindblad's
Ferrari are working on. But Charles Leclerc
steering wheel was
down
left on. You
in
can't
that
see it from
first
this
sector
angle, but
compared
left on
to
the
George Russell. We
dashboard.
knew Mercedes were going to be fast. And of course, it's still early days in this practice.
There's some
session.
image right there that I
Seems to
took.
be on top of it. at
So
the
that
moment,
was,
but it's the best
interesting.
for Charles Leclerc. We're going a little bit quicker in that middle sector, so he's gained a little bit of time back on Russell because he was 4 tenths down. And this is the important next, and this is where
Now we're
that front
watching
left
Leclerc
is
on
gonna
a
be
lap.
absolutely screaming round
Let's go,
turn
Leclerc.
13 onto the back straight. It's going to be a tough circuit for that front left in particular. And there you go. There's your.
Oh, they
game
get taken down?
for you,
Nope.
Sam.
Here's Isaac Hadjar being
We're
irritated.
going to go down to Ruth Buster.
Hey,
in the
hey,
pits
hey,
in a
what are you
moment.
doing?
I
This
just wanna
track
see
is
the end of
terrible,
lap for
man.
Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. It's going to be, I think, the fastest lap we've seen so far. But on the medium tyre, we're not going to see the faster runs until a little bit later in the session. Comes a little bit wide across that corner. Look for that for track limits.
Not
later
giving
in
Paul
the
a
day.
bit
And
of-
Leclerc goes second.
We all know what happened in
4-7.
2021.
But Ruth has found her way down to Racing Bulls in the pit lane. Maybe to get an update on what's gone on.
Was going faster with Colapinto was carrying the grill in the park.
Thank you. Yet down
Oh
in
my
the end
gosh.
of this exceptionally long and wide pit lane.
Hadjar
and we have
frustrated.
an absence of Formula One
What are you
car
doing?
here.
Get out of the
Surely
way.
his car's out on track. Poor Arvid Lindblad after his amazing
Arvid
debut.
Lindblad had a
Points
bit of
on
a
debut.
situation.
Going
We just
running
had the
high
safety
in
car's
three
results.
in his first race.
He
Has
was
just got
dragged
back to
off.
the garage here and is making a beeline for the pit
they
wall
left his
to
steering
talk to his
wheel
engineers to explain to them exactly
on
what
the
happened
dash.
to his car. Now, we don't know. I've just seen that
It
people found they
was
don't know either.
in
And actually, let's follow
the
Lindblad on
final
the pit wall here.
couple of turns, I think.
Because what's super interesting here is he's gone
He was
straight up
cutting
to
off.
Alan Permain there.
Now we're
where I was
running
going this
again.
evening to explain what he felt
We
in
have,
the car. Now, that Red Bull Ford, it looked pretty strong in Bahrain winter testing, but the
Let's
power
see,
unit in the back
couple
of
of
that car,
cars
obviously
running.
the same as the power unit in the back of
This
that
is a run
Red Bull
from
racing car.
Bortoletto.
Had a couple of issues. First off, we saw Liam Lawson.
See what happens.
off
Oh,
the
you just
start
went
line,
long.
having some issues with the battery. We then also saw you know, the retirements, obviously, throughout several of the races with Isaac Hadjar with the Red Bull. So question marks more than answers. These debriefs are so critical to the engineers because often we can't diagnose when the car is switched off what is going on. We have to wait a bit like an airplane, the black box of the car till we get it back on track.
The test
That
to
is going to
see
be at
that
the end of
it's
the
actually
session. So
showing. Nope,
any kind of
that's not gonna
snippets
show.
that your driver, you can see, can give there to his
Real
race
time.
engineer, it's going to help them potentially diagnose what's the problem. It is
Gotta
now
make sure
race against
updates.
time in order to be able to understand as much as they can in terms of setup. And what I actually really like there is that Isaac is going to get onto that spare seat on the pit wall, plug in and follow along on the session, so you can listen to his teammate Liam Lawson throughout the rest of the session. I really like that from a driver. It shows they're really locked in even after a disappointing FP1 through no fault of his own, when it looked like a bit of an electrical issue. I think
Hamilton had a big spin.
About to box now, JP, so I'm going to have to tell you to switch
that up
around
for a
and
second.
back to you guys.
Wow, thanks, Larry. Fascinating insight from down there in the pit lane. I'm Sam Collins, Formula One technical analyst. I'm joined in the commentary box here by Alice Powell. Alice
He's
is
testing the Macarena wing? No,
driver,
he didn't
coach,
even
and
have it
manager. I
open.
think that understates your role. But before we get on to you, Alice, just watch this. Come on, let's have a look at Leclerc.
We are getting a replay of Leclerc using the
It doesn't
Macarena
get old,
wing.
does it?
No, it doesn't. Love it. And actually, the shot that we caught at the very start of the session with both Ferraris back to back with the
Live.
opening, and there we go. They are closing it earlier than they thought, because of course we saw Lewis Hamilton.
They're trying to close it early, it
that
looks
spin
like.
down into turn 6
To make
when it's
sure
closing
that,
slightly later, as
they can
Jody
get
mentioned.
it.
It's going to have to be on the drivers to maybe close that slightly earlier.
Maybe
than they would
figuring
like.
out how the
It's a big
flip,
learning experience for the
whenever
teams
it's
and
like
the drivers, and something a lot of people have noticed. And you'll see it
parallel
in
to the
moments,
airflow, or
the
perpendicular to the
front
airflow
wing and the rear wing
affects
close
it.
at slightly different times. It's only a matter of a split second.
We'll see if it
In that
affects.
moment, the car has a completely different aerodynamic balance to normal. And if the driver does something,
I am really curious because Hamilton just had his spin.
that can cause the car to twitch or
where is that
move in a
footage?
way that they don't expect.
Yeah, there you
I've
go.
just seen that on
Hamilton
the
had his
video
spin.
facing of Leclerc's
And
cameras. He sets his
I wonder
fastest
if it had to
session
do
so far.
with
Now, Alice, you've been watching some other very fast drivers on this circuit earlier today, haven't you?
the
Yeah, we had F1 Academy out
Macarena
earlier
wing.
on today. Track was really dusty for them. Track evolution
drifting.
is
Woo.
high
There he
here
goes.
anyway. But
Anyway.
I expect that come towards the end of the session, you can see actually Leclerc's out there, for example, 12 laps on the board now compared to George
Ferrari
Russell's
looks so
9.
cool.
Just keeps getting quicker. and
Flip-flop
quicker. Won't
wing.
necessarily feed just down to track evolution.
Got a
But
replay from Norris that's happening
It'll
from
be progressive
POV.
with Lando Norris, who's been bumped down into fifth because Ollie Behrman's jumped up to fourth. This is where the first part of the pain kicks in for that front left, and a swap of oversteer there for Lando. Plenty of
That's what we're
runners
seeing on
on the
the
outside.
broadcast.
As you can see,
Lando Norris's viewpoint.
Bren saying no. Slight lock up for the front right as well.
Slight lock up to the front
Curious
right,
one, he
they're
was well
saying.
offline, and I wonder if he's just gotten to them. It's too early for marble, so just gone to a dirtier part of the track.
It's so dirty out there. I spoke to some of the F1 Academy drivers yesterday, and they were testing here about 3 weeks ago, and they said they just can't believe how dusty the circuit is, even compared to when they were here. Yeah, like I said, 3 weeks ago. So that dust is still.
This is
gonna
the
be out there.
incident between Lewis Hamilton and
Slightly
Lando
wide.
Norris,
You
where they
can see
lost a
where the circuit's
little
gone
bit
in.
of carbon fiber.
We do go slightly off
Unfortunate.
that, on the left-hand side there. That's where he will swap ends. And let's see, George Russell, can he stretch his legs even more at the top of the timesheets?
Well, I think we saw Russell just having another moment slightly wide there as well. And again, I just like seeing the drivers fighting the cars this year, as you haven't seen for a while. We did see a lot of that locking up, coming in, but with the higher energy usage rates, that's what the team's going to be playing with in this session, understanding what they can get out of the power units under these slightly revised sets of restrictions.
Just a little bit of
placed
rubbing.
on the cars. 9 megajoules allowed in some sessions this weekend. That means they can basically, putting it into layman's terms, you can just push the battery in the hybrid system a bit harder than you did in Melbourne. And that will make a difference to how the car performs around the track, particularly on the straights. It's just a bit more potent.
It will. Heavier braking zones around here compared to Melbourne, particularly turn 1, turn 6, down into 11, and then the long straight down into 14. That's
Lewis put on some
certainly
soft
gonna help
tires, it
with,
seems like.
the regeneration, which is obviously one of the other reasons where they're allowed
He wants to
to
top the timing
regenerate more
screen.
in a lap, more battery, as you said, for the drivers to play with.
And this is the
Let's see how he
blending
does.
of the officially 50-50 split. It's actually the power unit has a lot.
We've seen the Macarena wing in action.
The combustion engine has a little bit more power than the electric.
We haven't
motor
seen
at
it
the moment.
fully
And
in action though,
balancing
and
the two of
some
them
incident
is
points,
the strategy that a lot of these teams
incident
are still trying to work
moments
out. And all
on
of that
track.
data
Lando
from
Norris
Melbourne
and
testing in Bahrain
Hamilton
and
getting
shakedown
a
bus,
little
that's
bit of a
really fed into those
miscommunication
results.
on their final exit.
And the different software models the teams have back at base to try to learn how to set up the car. And I think the real secret to Formula 1 at the start of this year, everyone's saying, oh, it's very different, the power units, some people aren't a fan.
We
of
got
the-
people on
some drivers don't
flyers.
think these are
There it is. I knew it would become a meme soon
It's not
enough.
properly set up.
Lewis Hamilton just
Oh, no, definitely not.
drifting
As
that
Oscar
Ferrari.
Piastri, now, he's after a much better weekend last time out. You can see here on the onboard there, the car skipping as he goes.
Hope everybody's doing good
through
tonight.
that section of corners, but he could.
Doing some practice streaming
For McLaren this weekend.
to get some things
that's
set
gonna
up
be a tough
for
one
the race.
against the
I won't be
likes of,
streaming sprint
Mercedes
quali or the
and Ferrari,
sprints,
who are looking to favour
but I will
going
be
into
live
this
streaming
weekend.
the actual
Time
race
slightly
at 3 a.m.
up to
So if
fifth,
you're awake,
just ahead of
join me.
Lando Norris.
But yeah, we
Crucially
had
missed out
a couple of interesting moments here. Lockup from Norris was the most
crashing out
recent
for-
one.
before the start. And again,
That was a spin
that
from
not just
Hamilton.
happened
We
with
had
progress, but also McLaren as well.
Hamilton and
Dating
Norris
out
getting nice and
one
comfortable,
car.
bumping a little bit of carbon off of each
Getting
other.
used to all these
Find that
systems in
real
a-
quick.
in a race
That was
duration.
down here
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it's very
Yeah, here it
different
is.
pelting around, I think, in practice and just doing
Coming out of the
what
final
we've seen
corner,
Lewis Hamilton
they
do
both
right
wanted
now,
that,
just trying to get a lap time,
that
trying to
final
understand the
exit
different systems
onto
in the
their
car, work
flyer.
through the program that the engine is
Both
designed
sacrificed
for
it and it didn't
drivers.
work out
But doing
for
it when
them.
you're going wheel to wheel with bitter rivals and trying to get track position and dealing with all the strategic elements in your head, these are the best drivers in the world.
Back up to the top. Hamilton's on a flyer. We'll see how he goes. He's improving.
Exactly. And you could say the same then for Red Bull as well, missing out with Hadjar having
Goes
that engine
P5,
issue.
it looks like,
Again, important
on a
data
soft.
that-
He's
that
just
lots
warming
of
up a
us
soft.
have
It's
that
like, I
soft
guess for a
tyre.
reconnaissance lap that they have to do
It really seemed like a proper push lap there going down into
with this new
turn
regulation.
14. So he's jumped up to 5th, but it's clearly not going to be the maximum from
Do we
Mick.
think
Leclerc is up there on the
that
medium
Ferrari
tyre
is now the one
in P2.
Yeah,
sandbagging.
0.2 of a second slower.
The Macarena
than Charles
wing,
Leclerc in the
we've
same
seen it
car
in action a
on-
bunch.
and Leclerc on the
Haven't
harder
seen
tyre,
much
I would
of
say,
the,
Hamilton is. So I think there's maybe more to come.
I'd be
Ollie
interested in
Behrman
seeing a lot of the
picking
data.
up pace
Hey,
in the Haas. He's
go on,
currently
you
sitting
show.
in 4th, and that car has a
Missed
really
it.
interesting upgrade on the rear of it. We'll take a look, I think, a little bit later today. But they
Guan Yu Zhou
finally
is,
copied the
at the track
Ferrari
in the
wing
garage
on
there.
behind the tailpipe, and Haas finding some interesting inspiration from the team that
What is
supplies
this?
their power units, their gearbox.
Oh, it's talking about all the
suspension
graphics that are
parts,
going
and
on.
other systems in that car. And I think they're beginning
There's
to
quite a lot of
find their way
graphics. We
forwards
got,
as well, to taking inspiration from that. And I think we are going to see some steps
Hamilton,
forward
the
from
name,
this team
tires.
to,
We got all of
seriously
the
on the
mini
same
sectors.
place
That's the
as
new.
Ferrari.
We got the track map location.
As well, gone
Gaps to the
best
fastest.
in the
Sector
first
times.
sector, not so much in the
Not
middle.
too bad. Not too bad. Decent graphics kit.
Going down. Which section of track, Sam, turn 14 is, correct me if I'm wrong, but 1.1 kilometres long, the straight from turn 13 down into turn 14. Which again, tyres start to cool a little bit, brakes start to cool a little
Everybody
bit.
thinking us for the
Go and
thinking
ask for the brakes.
F1 for the mini
Into
sectors.
14.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
In there as well. I expect in qualifying we'll see plenty
Lewis now
of
P5. Yep.
lockups, and even during the race as well. Those tyres are starting to get a bit old.
Ollie Behrman
Worse for wear.
P4 right now. And,
See drivers
I don't
making,
think
some
Lewis
errors
has
down
really
into
done
14.
a lap on
Yeah, I
those
think we are.
softs
It's
because
a big long straight.
I think he's just scrubbing
As
a
driver, when you're
bit
going
off,
down the straight
or,
that long, and I've seen it on a series
or
of
just feeling out the Macarena wing or the flip wing, flip-flop wing on that tire.
Turn 6 through to turn 13.
Because that's probably what I would do. There's Guan Yu
The car is
Zhou
doing something, turning, accelerating, braking.
or Zhou
Down
Guan
the
Yu.
straight, the driver gets a bit of a breather. And
Whichever one's
do
the
some of
more
them lose-
appropriate
How do they keep their focus up to that corner? Because
non-English speaker
but that's about
version
what
of
we've
his
got to do
name.
there, other than accelerate and try not to hit them.
Well, it's a great opportunity if your engineer is shouting on the radio to make an adjustment on the steering wheel. That's the perfect time to do it down that long straight. But not
Perez,
you don't really.
what
in a
has
race
happened to
car,
Perez?
You're in your element. You know that slip of concentration.
Translates.
You can't afford to have that.
Canada
anywhere,
already shooting for the first
along
time
that,
in
particularly down that
China.
straight,
Come
nailing
on.
those gear changes, picking out your braking point.
The
in
Perez
a race
is in 18th
situation,
right now.
aware of your surroundings, who's around you, and even the chance to gather some information or pass some information on to your engineer.
We've got a Red
So,
Bull. 29
no rest,
minutes
even
left.
down the long straight.
29 minutes
And,
in
you
the
see, even for one of those
first
McLarens,
practice
generating that tyre temperature
of the second race.
is going to be crucial.
Very different track.
over this
The
weekend.
track
There's
has
certainly
a
cooler
lot
temperatures
more of a
than
different
we
profile, as you'll
experienced
see down there.
Now, something
We've
we've
got
seen
long,
from a number of teams in
slow
testing, we saw in
corners
Melbourne as well, is
for
teams
most of the
practicing
track, and then we got a
qualifying
long
now,
straight,
doing a fast lap,
followed
then
by a
slow,
hairpin
then
turn
second
and a
line
sharp
lap.
left.
That's exactly what we're seeing Hamilton doing now.
That
He's
goes
gone
straight into
faster
another
in the
straight.
first
So we'll see
sector.
if that
He's still way
affects
down
the
in middle sector, but
battery
that's his best time so far.
efficiency
He's on the
and
soft tyres,
management.
pretty much the only person out there on track on the soft
come
at the moment.
sprint
Everybody else
qualifying
out to
and
play on the
qualifying.
medium, so Hamilton getting that soft tyre running in earlier. It's a sprint
Hamilton's on a
weekend, so
green
only one practice
improvement
session
lap,
to
so
do
we'll
it for
see.
TVSC
He's
so
still
far,
not
and there's only 28
fastest.
minutes to go.
He's coming
Not much
through
time to get those fast
the
laps
final
in now.
straight here.
A little bit of understeer for Lewis Hamilton towards the exit of turn 13, so you just had to hesitate with the throttle, and that's the last thing you want going
Hamilton
onto that
is
long
right
back
underneath
straight.
his
Any hesitation
teammate there, looks
is gonna
like on the
cost you
timing
those
screens.
hundredths, building up to those tenths of a second. So, car doesn't
See if
look
we got
too
any good
crazy
imagery.
for Lewis, but
Franco Colapinto.
he's just not showing all his cards just yet. But that understeer certainly onto the back straight wouldn't have helped him at all.
Well, he's picked up the pace significantly.
Everybody excited for the race
and
weekend?
Within a tenth or 2 tenths
I'm
of a second
excited.
of Charles Leclerc, who still remains quicker
Stoked to
on those
see
medium tyres than
if
Hamilton
Ferrari
is
can actually
on the
capitalize
softs.
on
George
their
Russell,
upgrades.
fastest overall
We'll
in
see
the
if
Mercedes.
Audi has
Still
some
wanted to go. It's
upgrades.
just free practice one.
Cadillac is
Shanghai.
testing some new things. I won't call it
Interesting
upgrades.
spectacle for everybody
Testing new
because
things.
Very different circuit to the circuit we started the season out in Melbourne. And we're going very different again.
We got
The
8
next
laps
track
for
out
each.
to this time at
Woohoo!
Suzuka for the
Yeah!
Japanese Grand Prix. Home race for Honda. They've got a lot to do between now and then.
Red Bull has fitted the
Martin,
second
Lance
power
Stroll,
unit
and
into
Fernando
Isaac
Alonso
Hadjar's
having
single-seater.
limited number of laps. Stroll's been out on the softs. Got 9 laps on the board, and Alonso 8 also been out on the softs. We've not really seen much pace from him at all.
No, Carlos Sainz yet to set a time. He's in the garage with a data issue.
F1 TV is down. F1 multi-viewer is to the rescue.
Hey, fam.
Do we reset by Delta? Affirmative. Well done.
So effectively, you'll have a Delta on the dash, and they can put whatever lap time they might want into that Delta. So whether the driver knows, but it's compared to their teammate, whether it's their personal best, even if they want. up to
Sergio
George
Perez
Russell,
talking about resetting the dash.
See how much where they're losing. How
Good
much
job.
time they're losing. It's a live Delta. So let's say
Learn a
he
new
breaks
skill,
slightly
you can
early,
reset
so
the dash.
losing a couple of tenths, that's going to show on his dash. But,
If you all missed it,
Carlos
we
Sainz
had
hoping
some
that
situations
problem
where Hamilton had to spin,
Williams gets sorted.
Colapinto had to spin, Hamilton and Norris brushed wheels and got into a little bit of trouble. We see the Macarena wing in action. Let me see if I can get one of these shots for you. This is where they bumped wings, or bumped wheels side, dropped a little carbon on the track, fighting for that start of a lap. Macarena wing. Let me see if I can find the Hamilton spin. Yeah, there's that impact there. Hamilton had a good spin. Oh, Isaac Hadjar got pretty frustrated. Look at all this traffic! Irritated. Let's see here. Here's the Hamilton spin right here. Hamilton losing it on the straight after a big braking lockup. Actually, he didn't even lock up until he started drifting. There were a couple of memes of it where he's just sliding sideways. I knew as soon as I saw it that was going to be a meme. It's going to be everywhere this weekend.
Up into third, but when they say data issue, there's a lot of data that this car collects and passes on.
We
to
had
live data
Norris had a little lockup. Ooh,
running
Piastri's got something
as it
going on.
should. That's that's a risk.
He's
of
going
them
down to
sending
turn
the car out
one.
on the track.
Ooh, he's
There is
sparking
an
down
issue,
into turn one,
as
drops
we
out,
saw.
goes off the track.
Running wide, was that? Obviously, it was not the lap he's
Let's
just
see if I
set.
can get a shot of
Similar
that.
issue to his teammate.
Both cars have had that snap quite regularly.
Both cars have had that snap
It's not
regularly,
running
apparently.
As it should. That's a risk of them sending them a car out on the track if there
Let's
is.
see if
an
anybody's
issue.
captured it
As we
yet.
saw, see Oscar running
Oscar
wide.
off track right there.
Obviously, it was not the lap he's just set, but similar issue to his teammate.
Both cars have had that snap quite regularly.
There, that's what we're seeing.
I'm just having a look at
On his
Let's
fast
see if
lap as
they
well.
put it
He
on
drives wide
Twitter
the
already.
final corner, putting the wheel into the ground. It's going to cost
Not
him a
yet.
little bit of time, and going just
Hamilton's
3
on a
tenths off
green
the fastest
lap.
time so far, it's going to be quite encouraging for McLaren if they can keep it clean. There's clearly some pace in that car, but how much pace is there in car 44?
He's on the
As
soft
Hamilton
tires
comes out
still.
Final corner, comes up to the line. Let's see, he jumps up to
And
second.
he jumps
and is
up
now
to
finally
P2.
quicker than Charles Leclerc, but I think the Monegasque driver is about to get some red tires on
With
his
2
too.
tenths off of
two
Russell's
consecutive
lap.
laps
And the soft
around here,
tires.
even though it is
Mediums.
hard on the tyres, as we've already touched on. It is
Based
cool
off
in these
of this
conditions.
guy's
They are
face-
able to do out and go do a cool lap, still have some life in the tyres.
show you
That's
this.
what's-
Based off of this guy's
third
face,
push
I
lap for
think
Lewis
that
Hamilton on those soft tyres and
was an
other
actual
circuits like Bahrain,
moderately
that's
competitive run.
hard to come by, isn't it? Usually it's
And
that
it's
one
still
lap
not
and then the tyres
at
are,
the
are saying
point
no more.
where
So
Mercedes are, so they're probably disappointed with a little bit of the pace
jumps up
disadvantage.
into P2.
At the start,
handful.
we only have
I've
one
not heard
practice,
anything
so it's
positive
imperative
on-
that they
on
get
the
this
radio.
right.
So I wonder again if
So
they're
we'll
maybe
see
not
if
showing
that guy's facial expression
their
has
full
anything
hand
to
yet. There's, Carlos Sainz
to
is
provide
on
to
now,
us.
So hopefully the data
Um,
issue for Williams has been solved.
as far as
That's
intel
the
into what's
third
going on in the
position for
Ferrari
Hamilton,
garage.
But Perez with that new Delta on his dash, he was the faster of the 2 Cadillacs, but Valtteri Bottas has picked up the
Both
pace.
cars had that
Will we see
snap
more
quite
from
regularly.
Perez? Now,
Snap out on
I'm wondering,
the
with this
slow
being a sprint
corners.
weekend, the tyre usage
Ferraris
is
are
very
back
much
wicked through the slow corners.
The tyre usage
Helping how to spin a while back.
Engineer
That was earlier in the session.
because you are very
Ended
much
up backwards.
treated in a different way to the way you normally would be on a race.
Only
where
loss
you
to
have different choice of
Charles
soft, different
is
choice of
turn
mediums.
14
That's why you see
apparently
so
on
many
Hamilton's
drivers out
lap.
in the mediums at this point because they don't have as much. But look at this on Hadjar's car. I was
They-
talking about the mediums. Look at that left
Translate
front,
this.
Alice. That's a mess.
Oh man,
Taking a beating, and I want to
graining, massive graining on
out the way.
Isaac
We
Hadjar's
saw
car.
that from the Red Bull, didn't we?
Looks
in
like
Melbourne, and particularly McLaren
some serious
as well,
graining
that
here.
that front left took a beating, and clearly still taking a beating.
Yeah, it looks like we got like a little bit of.
14 laps
let me
from
make
Isaac
this,
Hadjar, so that's slightly
white.
worrying.
We got a little bit of graining
Starting to
here
look like that.
and here.
He's obviously not been doing consecutive push laps like you would
Oh.
in the race. So even with that, let's say if he's done half of those as a push lap, not looking good. And another driver getting a snap in a similar place to Oscar Piastri is Bortoletti.
Yeah, a huge amount of drivers.
Lost control of my
You
mouse
might have a
apparently.
case there. The wind speed isn't very high, but looking at the sort
That's
of
weird.
the weather
Let me,
vane,
just
it's
double
pointing
check.
exactly there. So maybe the driver's just getting caught out on their turn in and then flying off onto that runoff. And their left front is
There we
already
go.
under
The
pressure.
heck, that was
Why
weird.
is it the left front that's big suffering? Well, lots of
Anyway,
long right-hand corners and the low transfer means
Let me get you
that
something
loading
new
that
up here. Let me
outside
refresh
tyre.
that.
So for a
That was
right
weird.
hand
Hopefully,
corner, loading up
can you guys let me know if it
for a
glitched on
left-hand
stream?
corner, you can see the Williams here as well, sights out on track.
My,
You'll see
I'm
as it
doing a
turns
couple of
in the air,
tests
look
and
at the
stuff,
surface of the
and
tyre, it's
oh,
just
that's why
completely
Hadjar's
it would
wheel
be
was so
some
grained.
direction.
Because
And
he
you start to see how the tyres perform differently.
locked up
When you
real
put
bad.
on onboard
Hamilton had a nice
tyres
spin.
left to right, you can quite
This is my favorite part right here.
often
This is going to
race
be
distance when
everywhere
drivers
on
start to struggle.
social
That's what a
media
lot of engineers doing through a Grand
with
Prix
the
distance.
drifting.
And making sure
The amount of
it's cooler
Tokyo Drift
conditions. Okay, it's
references
not
that are going to be this
ridiculously chilly,
weekend.
but I'd say 13 degrees air temp is one. It's
I mean,
slightly
it's China,
warmer,
but
especially coming from
still,
Melbourne.
Macarena wing.
That's going to have effect with bringing the tyres in. Yes, they've got tyre warmers,
yeah.
so that help. They're not going out on
Tires
stone
are
cold
a bit
tyres,
worn
but
for
still you
everyone.
want to have them, and we keep hearing them. Optimum
Looks like we
window
have
for the tyres, and just with these cooler conditions, makes it slightly harder.
a couple
to
of
get
cars
them
with some
up
serious
to
graining
temperature.
and
We can also
rubbling.
maybe see cold graining, maybe not too much in these track temperatures, 23 degrees, nearly 24 degrees. So we've seen colder conditions, but makes it trickier to get it really in that optimal window.
before the Formula Academy session, which was the practice session before,
We're talking about Hadjar
the
getting a big
players
lockup
was
greening on all the
83%
tires of all the
in Formula
cars.
One terms, it
We
is
had a
basically
couple
running the
of
race at the North Pole. There is a
showcases
minimum
in the
operational
Macarena wing.
temperature for the tires, which I think is about 89 degrees
Mercedes
centigrade. Oh, that's
are on
what you're
top.
pointing out, Alice, the state of
Hamilton
that
had a good
tire
run.
quality.
He had a
See
big
the
spin.
rubber flying off of Colapinto's
I'm really
front
curious
leg.
if
let's have a
that
look
race
how many laps,
engineer's facial
he's
expression
got
was
before. That's 17 laps.
an
So
indicator
before
of
the
whether or
Hadjar.
not
Not good. That's
Ferrari is going to have a good
great
week.
data for
And it makes me
collecting
nervous
for
because I
teams,
want them to have a good week,
This is their
but
last opportunity. They can't go, okay, roll
it
it
might
back into the
not be
garage
the
for free
case.
practice 2. We'll make this adjustment to try and help things. They can't.
We're in
They've
the
got to
final
take
20
that risk
minutes.
now of maybe risking making an adjustment for the sprint race tomorrow. But of course, they will take learnings from the sprint, which they can then carry over into the race from those slightly longer runs.
Well, it's cold as well. When it's colder, you do tend to see the tyres wear differently, but if it gets hotter, you do tend to see more tyre wear. The tyres give up quicker in hotter conditions, generally speaking. And you can really see it already on the Williams behind this Ferrari. You can start to see that left front going as well. And I wonder if this is going to be the
Ferrari,
story
I
of
believe
the
it's
sprint.
Lewis
Are the
Hamilton
tyres,
going
is
for
that left front going to be really marginal in
a run
performance
right
terms
now.
for drivers to get to the end?
Sweeping
And
through
will
turn
anybody
one.
sort of roll the
Norris
dice
is
to try
passing
something
him,
different
though.
with their tyre choice just to get to the end? And maybe
That's
open
weird.
up a few
Hamilton
windows
bail
for
out in
recovery
turn
on
one.
Sunday.
I mean,
They're
if you don't
calculating
have a
his
great
time.
in the sprint for
Yeah, no, he
example,
bailed.
then yeah, rolling that dice. If you're slightly further down the order than we'd like.
Norris getting
again,
him back
just
from
to
the
get that
earlier
information
incident
for heading
where
into
they
the main
wheel
Grand
banged.
Prix on Sunday.
That was fun.
How many laps are we going to see Aston Martin circulate?
All right, we got an Aston Martin
Fernando
that
Alonso
we're following.
on the
They're
outside
finally
of the
green
soft
on an
tyre,
Aston Martin.
personal
Let's see
best,
if it actually has
all the way down there,
anything.
19 and 20.
Currently
Well, Lance Stroll sort of finished the
19th and 20th on soft tires, and they're still 1.2 seconds
12
down.
laps down at the end of the Grand Prix, but most of those 12 laps he
not
was spent in the
good,
pits.
not
Actually,
good.
that's a lot further than Aston Martin expected to be able to go. Honda have said
do
there
a
are some
refresh
fixes
here.
already in force on the car, but whether they're going to
F1's
be
already
effective,
taking people's
they need to
videos and
find
stuff
out,
down.
with a major fix expected in a fortnight's
What's
time
this?
at Suzuka.
No
which I
updates
think
submitted
could
for this
see
event.
the cars come up to,
Good.
well, a slightly better.
We gotta see these
But this is the
graphics
issue, Alice, because
with
Alonso's
the
out of track.
the mini sectors and also the track map.
He had a huge
That's
ramp
pretty cool, huh?
oversteer on the exit of turn 15 there. 14, sorry. Across the line. Doesn't move as high up as he certainly would have liked. But no, you're right. He's massively lacking in experience.
Lewis
with
is
this
itching
car.
for
Experience in Formula 1. He's
a
definitely
big
not
run,
ready
but he hasn't been able
for
to
that,
pull
but
one
he
together.
would like to have clocked up many more laps, particularly last weekend.
Hadjar not happy about the
of
traffic.
the race.
Charles Leclerc, looking at Charles Leclerc's forward-facing.
Ollie Behrman
record.
is
That's a strange one.
coming out of the final
seen that
corners.
before.
Maybe he's gonna go on a run.
Quite sure what he'd be learning.
We'll
from
see.
that. Well, coming up to quarter of an hour to go in free practice 1 here ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix.
We had
Shanghai
an incident
International
really
Circuit.
quickly
George Russell in the
between
Mercedes remains top
Norris
of the
and
time
Hamilton.
sheets
They were
with
coming through a
19 laps
corner
completed ahead of the
and
two
just
Ferraris.
got into each
Hamilton
other's
and Leclerc with 17 laps apiece, though Hamilton the
sides
second
there
time on
just a
soft
little
tyre,
bit,
his
which
teammate
was interesting.
not. Oscar Piastri in the McLaren in 4th, and Kimi Antonelli in the other Mercedes sits in 5th position. And really looking at Oliver Behrman impressing in
Oliver
second,
Behrman.
also yet to run on the softs.
He is yet to run on the softs, is what they're talking about.
Lacking a little bit, isn't he? But
Liam
behind
Lawson
his
sitting at
teammate.
P9. I know that this is not representative. It's a little bit more representative because this is the only practice session they're going to get. So
from him, and I think he had a fairly decent race, I would say, for Gasly in the Alpine.
definitely going to
Getting
be
his first points on
a
the board.
Ferrari
I've seen them
versus
out
Mercedes.
in a
Just
much
depends on
better
who's
place
sandbagging more
than they were
and how
compared
much
to this time last year. Obviously,
they're
different power
exerting the
unit,
tank. We
Mercedes
got
power unit. in
rear
the
view
back
of the Ferrari right
of
here.
the Alpine.
Looks like,
I know,
oh, we've got a nice
Martin
look at
and
how this goes. Like, I didn't realize that it goes all the way around
Last
and
year,
underneath.
Colapinto, though,
That's
struggling.
very
Had that
fascinating, and
spin,
it actually
didn't he,
has
on
a
the-
wing.
His outlet,
Is that
bizarre
new?
Spin. Definitely that would have
Or is that how it's always
destroyed
been?
his tyres and that front
Do we
leg
always just
of
get
Max
this angle? I
Verstappen,
feel like this is...
that doesn't
very
look nice.
interesting.
That's
I didn't
not
see
helpful.
that look.
This is the story for tomorrow.
Or that
This
angle.
is absolutely going to be the story. The life of the left front tyre in the sprint is going to be a
Pretty
defining
nifty
factor.
little,
These drivers are going to have to work hard to keep those
Ferrari
tyres
wing.
alive.
Everybody's,
at the
like,
end of
laughing at the Ferrari wing
sprint
right now.
session, or potentially sacrifice a set of hards for Sunday's Grand
Bearman and
Prix.
P6, man. Haas with that Ferrari engine actually showing their pace.
With that little tiny turbo, and you've got great acceleration in the run down to turn 1. You might do something a little bit spicy. to
Hopefully
try
everybody's
to
having a
get
good
the
night.
advantage. Speaking of
We got
spicy,
14 minutes
well,
left
it's all paint
in the
now.
session.
Yeah, we were just talking about them and how
Bearman
good
is
job
a big shot
Gasly
in
was doing.
P6.
Another
Could be one to
incident
watch in
for
sprint quali.
Colapinto this time just stopped in the pit lane, totally conked out.
Hamilton on
trying to
softs.
do a little
I don't
bit of
think
a
the
reset.
Ferrari likes the softs.
And,
Do you guys agree
Alpine crew
or
going for a little
disagree?
bit of a jog
I feel like
down the
they
pit lane to try and retrieve him.
I feel like they've been having some
Can't stop
issues
there.
with the
That
soft.
front left. Maybe it doesn't look as bad as the
The
Max
medium seems to be the
Verstappen's
preferred
Red
tire
Bull,
for
but,
the
want to put some
car.
power on
Maybe
those brakes quite
more
quickly.
so with the
Yeah, the brakes are like most of the bits
Oh,
of the
we
car.
got a
There
yellow
are no
flag.
fans
What's
in
going
there.
on?
If
We
the
got
F1
people
cars
running
come in
out.
from the long run and just sit with the brakes there, and they don't put fans
Something's
on it,
going on
they will
here.
catch
This is
fire.
what we got on
So
the
that's
screen
why
right
they've
there.
had to dash
Bunch
down
of
there
the
with what look
Alpine
like very
mechanics
posh- they are
going out
very
there.
posh leaf blowers, and they bolt them onto the car, and then the car gets
the
hot
heck?
and they have to run all the way back.
I think he did that on purpose.
They ran all the way down,
It's chilly conditions, so
and
at
then
least
they
they'll be
ran all the way
slightly
back
warmer
because
now.
he like, what?
Back into the pits.
He's like just juking out there the race engineers. They're just literally like, ran back. Franco Colapinto.
Largely due to poor performance, frankly.
He stopped at the end of the
Replaced by
the
Mercedes power units. No one wants it.
pit straight.
So he's
Oh, he had a
totally
bit of a
lost drive,
jolt,
gone into neutral.
and then
and you can
looks
see
like he
a
stopped
bit of
on
confusion
track.
from the McLaren team on the
He just stopped
the
out
right-hand
here by the
side as
McLaren
well,
garage.
But, managed to get it fired up, back into gear, and down into.
Stopped
his
at the
pit box,
McLaren
now.
garage, and then all his
The moment we've been
mechanics
waiting for,
ran
George
out there and
Russell
then
out
ran
on the
back.
second
They were like,
Yeah,
ah!
fastest in the first sector.
Let's
of
go,
anybody,
guys.
Fastest
Let's
in
go
the
get
second
'em.
sector.
Yellow flag and
Pretty
everything.
fast in the final sector.
And
Thomas
then
Ralph
he
through
started
the
going, and then
So-
look at all of his race engineers right
going
there.
through the long right-hander up onto this straight. He's
Alrighty then.
massively up already, nearly 9/10 of a second, and it's not easy, but George Russell is
Yeah, there we
making
go. We
it
got
look
some,
easy.
Twitter
Breaking
posts
point.
from it.
Just past 100 metres, getting the car turned in nicely.
Hamilton
Nice and
pushing.
gentle
He's
throttle, much
on
nicer than
yellow
we saw
first
the Aston
sector,
Martin, Fernando Alonso,
green second sector.
swerving
Let's see where he comes
all
out.
over the place, and then out of the
He's
final
just started the
corner.
third sector.
Temptation to carry speed into turn 16. It's a very narrow exit on the exit there.
I'm watching that
First driver easily
timing
into the
graph.
32s.
Well, picture in picture,
Because
we
the,
saw Lewis
timing
Hamilton
sheet
was
is
on
a
lap.
little bit
Charles Leclerc
ahead.
also now has the soft tyres bolted onto his Ferrari. But we'll have a look at Hamilton's lap first
No
of all.
improvement.
He set his best middle sector so far and is doing reasonably well in the final sector, but stays second overall. But his best
Man, what
time
is
of
that?
the
Is
day
he
so
on
far.
just like old
Kimi
tires?
Antonelli,
We had a
though,
Colapinto
pumping in
spin
a
earlier.
really quick lap in the other Mercedes.
I don't know if you guys
just a
saw.
second
We're here to see
behind
that.
his teammate Russell.
Or
I
not?
think Hamilton will be, if that's all that Hamilton's got, then that's going to be hugely disappointing
Ooh,
for him. 1.4 off. Charles Leclerc, personal best. in the
Something's
first,
wrong.
but not in the second sector. He would have liked to maybe picked up a little
with
bit
the
of
Red
time
Bull,
from
Max
the
Verstappen.
car in front.
Yeah, Verstappen and Hadjar, 11th and
Turns
12th.
in fairly nicely.
What are y'all doing? This is our
Bit
grid right
swervier
now.
on the exit compared to the Mercedes. A lack of traction there through the final corner. Not
We've
using
got
as much
Hadjar
of the
and
road exit
Verstappen
compared
in
to his teammate.
P11,
Does
12.
improve. but still
Hulkenberg and Bortoletto,
compared to
13,
George
15.
Yeah, but for teammate rivalry,
We got
28,
Colapinto, 14th. Not bad. Gasly up in 8th. Lawson is in 9th.
It is.
Arvid Lindblad had a
Hamilton's
DNF
obviously gone very
earlier,
well in
so
the past.
he's
We'll hope
out.
to continue that going into
Better showing from the
the remainder of the weekend.
McLarens.
The most
We have a
Chinese
replay
Grand Prix,
happening from
6
Hamilton right
victories.
now.
There's the replay, final corner.
Final corner.
Looks alright, but that off-board shot where we see the rear of the
Let's
car
see the off-board.
touching as it goes through. This is probably a better angle.
Let's see what we got here, Hamilton.
Give you picking up the dust there, just scraping along the ground. And
He's
that was
just
one of the things
picking up
they
dust.
disqualified
That's
for
all.
here last year, wasn't it? Plank wear?
That's right. And underneath, it's
Got some
very
plank wear,
impressive.
they're
Sounds like something you find in the garden shed, but in the base of every
Getting
single
PTSD
F1 car,
with that.
There is. It used to be a wooden plank. It's not made of wood anymore. As,
PTSD
Russell
with
said.
plank wear
We'll
here.
talk about that in a
If you guys
moment.
remember
But
last year when
underneath
they
the
got
setup,
a
the
double
stop cars
DNF
running too low to the
from the race.
ground and getting an aerodynamic advantage.
Please know.
There is what we call the wooden plank. Isn't made of wood anymore. It's something
Gap
really
is still
dedicated.
intense.
But if you wear that down too much, the car will automatically become illegal and get disqualified. So we have seen
Russell up to
that from a number of
132.8.
drivers so far. George Russell going quick. Let's hear what Hamilton has to say.
Give me a plan, mate.
Give me a plan, mate.
Where I am in the session.
So you are P3, still P3. Now Mercedes managed to use the soft. They are 1.3 seconds ahead of us.
Hamilton, they don't know where he doesn't know where he's at in the session. P3. Now Mercedes managed to use the soft tires. They are 1.3 seconds faster than
Mercedes
us.
are 1.3 seconds faster
Crazy.
than you. And fairly calm
Crazy, that's not what you want to
response
hear.
from Lewis Hamilton, saying he lost it in the end. It did look a handful on that last part of the lap, and George Russell looks like he potentially
Looks like a
could be
handful.
going even quicker.
Man,
Liam
Ferrari are
Lawson,
crumbling at
he
the
needs a
latter
better
half of
weekend
this
than last time
practice
out,
session.
doesn't he?
Jeez.
Rookie teammate Arvid Lindblad doing a brilliant job getting his first points, whereas Liam Lawson was down in 13th place.
Mercedes, 7 tenths
Antonelli,
faster
another
than
personal best
Ferrari.
for him in the first
Hamilton,
sector, and a fairly decent
1.4
middle
off.
section back
That
to cross
is
the beam.
crazy. Are Ferrari
Can he
sandbagging?
pip his teammate to the top of the
I
tyres?
don't
Pretty
know.
close.
It's
Russell
Nelly.
improves, so now goes 2 tenths clear of his teammate.
He still has
We'll wait
time
for
in the
Antonelli.
first sector.
Yeah, we're watching the Racing Bull making its way around. One driver
Here
we
is
haven't
the
spoken about so
situation
much yet,
where,
but also on their fastest lap on the soft tyre. now.
Colapinto-
Some reasonably good times in the opening section of the lap. It was Pierre Gasly in the other Alpine. He's been going well, but the final sector hasn't started out too well. As we see Lawson coming up to the
Colapinto's
line,
race
picking his best
engineers
time
ran
so
after him,
far,
and then he
managed
got
to
the
go
car
7th
going.
in the Racing Bull, which is pretty impressive for that car. But there's
Kinda
a lot more to
ridiculous.
come from a lot of cars, like these two battling silver arrows.
So I wonder if that was a mistake in the final sector there from Antonelli, or he just felt the time wasn't there because lost a few seconds.
Not good for
It was
Ferrari.
looking good. He was looking very good to challenge and be even closer to his teammate. And Charles Leclerc has either decided that he wants to have bought this lap, or he has.
I was really hoping for more from Red Bull this time. Yeah, me too, man.
He's deciding to.
We've got the Red Bulls in 11th and 12th. 3.2 seconds off. That is
moment.
insane.
You would have thought, Sam, this is going to boost him further up the order into the top 6. His teammate yet to set time on the soft tyre as well.
Yeah, well, I think we haven't really seen what McLaren have got with this rule set. Actually, they've admitted they're still trying to find the best ways around this Mercedes
We're
power
catching
unit.
Mercedes so
Norris
far.
was up to 4th position with his best lap so far. But I
Dang.
think teams like McLaren particularly are still
Improved.
working out how to get the most out of it. Max Verstappen, we've seen
That is
him down in
insane.
the pits having the front end of his car quite significantly fiddled with. So I think either a little problem in that Red Bull or a bit more Vetteling needed to get the best lap time, but now he's back out on track. We'll see what this car's got. As I say, I think these Red Bulls have got really good straight line
Getting
speed,
tired, man.
and I think we are going to see quite a lot more of them once we get to see them just
Final
beginning
6 minutes.
with this new rule set.
Final 6
having to
minutes.
say,
I think
even
the big
watching from the
learnings are
onboards
that
and the
Ferrari
outboards,
are
that
definitely
Mercedes
off the pace.
Just looks so complete
Right
doesn't
now.
it? From watching on
Mercedes
board with George
is
Russell,
legal.
the traction.
FIA, do
corner
something,
at
FFS.
Turn 14. We'll see what Max Verstappen's is like, but it just looks
Yes,
so good. The
for
high
real.
speed, it looks settled. The slow speed, it
Verstappen's
turns
on
and
a
rotates
flyer.
nicely.
He's in the
Not
green.
As much rotation there
See
for
where he
Verstappen,
can
but
land
even there,
himself.
Lack of traction compared to the Mercedes. See what it's like
P7.
through the final corner.
Oof.
Bit of understeer compared to
That
the
is
Mercedes.
literally
Only pops
nowhere.
him up into 7th, 1.8 seconds off, and that's not something we say very often, is it? Max Verstappen in 7th.
Yeah,
Lacking
Verstappen,
pace
that
in
is
his
so
Red Bull.
bad.
Looking at the detailed sectors there, Alice, it looked to me like Red Bull may be trying to optimise the corners a little bit more with the setup they've got on that car, rather than that straight line speed advantage we saw in Melbourne. So I wonder if they're just playing around trying to find different routes to make that speed on this very different circuit. Oscar Piastri, though, looking like he's on a pretty good lap right now.
Yeah, and comparing again to the Mercedes as they're the benchmark. There seems to be a lot more bottoming compared to the Mercedes from the McLarens. You can even hear it on the onboard skipping across the ground, but actually a fairly good sector from Piastri, but already rear of the car snaking,
Let me just
front
update
of the car
something.
getting that little bit of push, and you can hear it skipping a lot more. But Antonelli may have made a mistake in the last lap, but he's had a cool down, gone again and set the fastest first sector of anybody out on track.
You can see Antonelli and the Mercedes picture in picture. We'll watch both at the same time here and live as the free practice one session winds down into the final 5 minutes at Shanghai
I don't know why all my
International
graphics
Circuit.
are not pulling
George
live
Russell at the top
data.
of the timesheets, but will he
I'll have to
remain there?
investigate
We'll have
that.
to wait and see in a few moments. Oscar Piastri moves up into third position in the McLaren, opposing the Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, and his own teammate down to 4th, 5th and 6th position.
If you're just joining us,
Though, he hasn't
we've
the
had
best
a
start
couple of
to the final sector, and his
interesting
field sector
incidents.
went away quite
We
quickly.
had
There's been a little issue we
Hamilton
didn't see,
spin.
and we are
We had
both
Colapinto
think
spin.
there may be some
We had
rebound on
an
the track.
incident where Norris
I
and
think Piastri
Hamilton
will be fairly
were
happy with that lap. Okay, 7 tenths of a
going through the
second
final
off, but he's
corner
popped in front of
to
the-
get a
the
run
Ferraris.
in, and
Slightly
they
closer
bumped each
than
other and
maybe
dropped
thought
off
they
some
would be.
carbon. We had Colapinto juke out his
Not
engineers,
too
as
sure
you
we're
can
gonna
see,
be much closer.
running them down the pit
Albon
straight, and then
jumps
he
up
got it
to
going and
13.
decided to
Sainz
just run. So
clearly
they just
got
got
rid
their
of his data
exercise.
issue.
We
Pops
had
up to 14.
a couple of lockups
Real
from
Portillo in the
McLaren.
audience is a car I think we still
The
haven't learned enough
Mercedes is, as you can see,
about together, but again,
literally
didn't
7
have time in
tenths
the final sector.
ahead of the rest of the field. McLaren and P3 ahead of the Ferraris. Are McLaren figuring out the Mercedes engine?
In Melbourne was obviously behind his teammate in qualifying, maybe not adjusting. as he
Hamilton
would
a little
like
bit on the
to
back foot going into the
these new
weekend. Not
regulations.
at
Agile,
all
though.
where I thought the
What a
Ferraris
weekend
would be.
he had. Okay,
Thought they would be a
finished the
little bit
race
more
with a fantastic
competitive. But then
qualifying
again, this is
session
practice.
for
They're
him.
probably
Showed him what the Red Bull
sandbagging a little
showed
bit,
potentially
but then
what the
again,
Red Bull
probably
can do. Let's have a
Mercedes
look.
is too.
14th, so
But yeah, this is
Not ideal.
not looking good.
great weekend here last year. A circuit that he clearly enjoys driving, but lacking a little bit of pace compared to his team out. Hello, Mr. Hulkenberg.
W17 in his previous life.
Getting it,
Right.
the Audi working quite nicely, and that's a pretty strong
That was
showing so far.
Lewis
from Audi,
commentary.
13th and 9th.
This is a track he knows very well from endurance racing, having spent hours upon hours, quite literally pounding around
Let's
the
see if I can
this track in a
find.
sports prototype. And those sports prototypes of that era were heavy hybrids, so they did have the
Lewis
sort
got out of the car for a
functionality.
minute.
They did have all the energy recovery modes, so he's learned how to do that in a very different type of racing car. But on this
Lewis
very
doesn't know
surface,
where he
he's
is
got
in
a
the
few
session
tricks
right now.
in his
He's a
book that
little
help him
bit
learn his way
concerned.
through this track in
I guess
Audi.
here's that spin right there. I was trying to find for you.
Lewis Hamilton's mum.
Lewis Hamilton's mom is here
Hamilton
too.
getting back into the car. He's not going to have time to do a push lap, but he needs to be on circuit to do
Very
practice
interesting.
starts. So
Spin out.
they'll have the opportunity. Can't do them
That's
at the
gonna
end of
be
the
a
pit
meme
lane
everywhere.
here in
The
Shanghai, but
drifting.
they'll have the opportunity to do them. Not that Ferrari necessarily needs start practice.
Get back to the
because
Chinese
they were the
GP.
strongest starters, you could say, out there, particularly.
Hulkenberg
Melbourne,
jumped up
when
to
we saw the
9th.
cars out
Gasly
in
at
Bahrain
10th.
doing those practice starts.
Ollie Behrman at
Pretty
7th. And
strong
Verstappen
starter, Charles
at
Leclerc,
8th.
not on for a personal
Hadjar's
best at
14th.
the moment to himself, unless he finds something in this final
That's
sector.
crazy.
Improved in the first, not so much in that
McLarens
middle
are
sector.
entering the picture.
As we see the
Is this
fancy
Ferrari actually
rear wing
working?
closing.
Is their
And
new
that
little
traction
halo
seems to be a
winglet
real strong
actually
point
working?
for the Mercedes, not so much for the Ferrari.
see.
Oh, and a snap of
Oh!
oversteer. Again, that traction.
Big snap of
seems
oversteer
to
for
be a real
Charles
strong point
Leclerc.
for the Mercedes, not so
gonna
much
grab
for the
this.
Ferrari. Oh, and a snap of oversteer
And he's
to
off.
end the lap to go with it.
Yeah, I love how tricky these cars are to drive. I like seeing racing
Very
drivers
tricky
struggle.
to drive.
I mean, anyone who knows me and hanging around with Jolyon Palmer will know that, but it is good to see these drivers having to work for this, but it's a learning process, and that's what I love about these cars. With just 45 seconds left on the clock of this free practice one session, the two Mercedes are again leading the way.
Charles Leclerc just went off. Big off.
Why did you kick gravel across the track and destroy your lap? You
Supposed
kick
to
it
be on
across
track,
the track
bro.
for everybody else. So let's have a look for
Let's see if I
Charles
can get a
Leclerc.
shot of
Already we
it
saw the rear of the car snaking out
from the onboard,
the
just showing the
hairpin.
onboard right now.
Just a little bit of understeer.
He just gets a little bit
front end
understeer
bit,
and
then that
flies
kicks the
off
rear
the
out,
track.
And no room for error down there at the final corner. You
That's
can
not
see
where you're supposed to be, bro.
out onto the gravel. That gets strewn across the track. And was it Oscar Piastri was the next driver round to collect up some of that gravel?
And he pulls it off.
Didn't improve though. Did
Big,
Oscar
massive gravel on
only
the
slightly.
final turn,
Check the
though.
flag is out.
That's where
It's our only
Fernando
practice
Alonso
session
had
of
his
the
massive
weekend.
save.
Sam, done.
Well, free practice one is over in Shanghai.
Last
George
year,
Russell
a couple
leading
years ago.
ahead of Kimi Antonelli, both of the Mercedes.
Checo
were on
P22.
and third position. Charles
What?
Leclerc,
Oh,
well,
no,
I went too
Checo.
early because Lando Norris just improved his time on the very final lap, jumped into third position ahead of Oscar Piastri
Yeah.
in his car, and there's still some lap times coming
Charles
in.
having a big
Colin
off.
Pinto is out on a decent
Went on
lap,
the
so
gravel.
him across the line as he's
Was
just
able to
into that
recorrect it,
final
though, and
sector.
got
We
back
could
on.
see a little bit of an improvement there from the Alpine
We're
driver.
following Hajar. That is
It's a
the
interesting
ending.
run here to see just a few people putting it
Our
in
official
right
rate.
at the
There's another
end
shot
of
there.
the session in
Our race
Shanghai.
results are
And it's,
Perez,
actually a big
Antonelli,
improvement there for Colapinto.
Norris,
Coming across the
Piastri,
line,
Leclerc,
finishing
Hamilton,
the
Behrman,
session in
Verstappen,
14th
Hulkenberg,
position.
Gasly,
Still
Lawson.
on that tricky
We
time
have
there for the
Bortoletto,
Red Bulls.
Hajar,
Hajar
Ocon,
jumping up
Colapinto,
there, Max
Albon,
Verstappen
Sainz.
to eighth.
Man, the Williams
As
is
the session
nowhere.
comes to a
Alonso,
conclusion. A bit more work
Bottas,
there
Stroll,
to do, Alex,
Lindblad because he
for
DNF'd,
the Red
and
Bull team, I think.
Perez.
There is. They'll be.
Hey, there's a familiar face.
I'll tell you what, McLaren. I think they'll be.
Yawning,
happy. I said that about
yearnfully
Lando,
looking at the screen.
About Oscar Piastri, sorry.
Hey, Yuki.
He'll be pretty
What's up, man?
pleased. And I said that Lando Norris was struggling to maybe get his head around this new car, but he's
Russell
something out
fastest.
towards the end. But that's how
Big news
George
is that
Russell,
they're half
new
a second above
special
Norris and Piastri, and
Sixth.
Leclerc and Hamilton are
Pleased at the
literally
moment is, of course, Mercedes leading the way.
8/10
Well, there'll be
off of
some
the
smiles in
Mercedes
Brixworth in
and
Northamptonshire in
1.3
England
seconds
as well.
off the
That's where
Mercedes.
power units are
Behind the
designed and built.
McLarens.
And it's not just the
Ooh,
Mercedes
did the
1, 2.
Ferrari
The cars in third
downgrade
and fourth
themselves?
also have that Mercedes
Are the
power
Mercedes
unit in
dominating?
the back of them. The two McLarens ahead of the two
And did
Ferraris.
McLaren figure out
And
the
then Oliver
Mercedes
Behrman
engine
in the
for this
Ferrari
race?
Powered Toyota-sponsored Haas is sitting in 7th position ahead.
That's
of the
top
Ford
11 right there.
Max Verstappen's Red Bull and Nico Hulkenberg in the Audi. Then
Here's some
the
shots of the,
Mercedes unit is in 10th position. So a pretty solid performance
Charles
from the
Leclerc
Mercedes
situation.
power units so far, and that's been the story of the season so far. But will anybody
Pretty
come
good
along
off.
and break that Mercedes dominance?
Good job, Russell. You're intense, Yuki.
Well, as we see a replay of Oliver Behrman at the end of free practice
Oliver
one
Behrman
in
at the end of
Shanghai.
free practice one,
Well,
he
that's not
spun.
gone well for him, has it,
Whoa.
Alice?
No, and that is a almost.
As we so far, but will anybody
Ollie Behrman.
free practice one here in Shanghai? Well, that's not gone well
Going
for him, has it,
sideways.
Alice?
No, and that is a almost similar there.
Right there.
To what-
He's gone sideways.
That's just in front of Stroll. It's what we saw with Piastri.
I have a fun little outro I made.
That torque kicking in,
If you're still here.
bit of extra electrical power as well, and around he went. He was offline.
Oh, wow.
Straight.
Lance Stroll was behind him. Let me
with
get a shot of
that
this.
torque kicking in. Maybe a bit of extra electrical power as well, and around
there he went.
He was offline
See ya.
on the dirty part of the track.
Usually
on
it's
the
Lance
inside
that's
there.
doing the,
Nice
spin in
avoidance
there.
From Lance Stroll as the drivers
Come
line
on.
up to do
There we go.
their practice start. This
There he is.
longer
Spinning off the
procedure.
side.
Can't
All right, we
launch off
have
the line
practice
with the car in
starts.
front of you on the practice
Let's see
line.
this
Have to
practice
wait for the car
starts.
to go into gear for
With the
Charles
Ferrari
Leclerc.
going.
Revs rise. He's got to wait for the Alpine in front of him to move. It's a long hold for the Alpine. Here we go. The Alpine's away, and I expect now Charles Leclerc release the clutch, and off he goes. Nice start.
Charles Leclerc goes.
Everybody's
They
gonna
didn't
ask
show
if
it
they
though.
Hear it at home. Why is there so much smoke coming out of the back of the Ferrari? That's entirely normal, actually. That's the oil tank breather system, and the cars do that all of the time.
Why is there so much
All of
smoke
the
coming
cars
out of
have
that
breather
Ferrari,
systems.
they
The Ferrari
said?
does seem to be
Entirely-
a little bit
entirely
more than some of
normal.
the others, but
Here's the top three.
usual. Ferrari starts though are still a big focus of attention, and I think on
Ferrari
this long
starts
run down
still
to turn
can
one,
be a
it's gonna
defining
be
factor.
Very, very exciting.
It was a nice start there from Piastri. Obviously, with these practice starts, they've
Those
got
gaps
decent
are
amount of tire
crazy,
temperature in.
man.
They've been pounding around So your practice starts at the end of the session.
Finishing some of the
Usually,
practice
I would say
starts.
slightly easier than if you were doing a start at
Ollie
the
Behrman
very
just had a
start
spin
of,
at the
of
end.
the race due to that tyre temperature, and of course with these new regulations,
Nice.
makes it harder for the drivers to generate that tyre temperature with the battery recharging.
Man, lots to talk about in the video tomorrow.
On the
We'll see how this
formation lap.
goes.
That's our only
Fastest
practice
is
session
George
for the
Russell,
weekend done. And of
then
course,
Kimi
George
Antonelli,
Russell,
and then
winner
half a
last
second
time
back
out
is
in Melbourne, tops the time sheet,
Lando Norris.
fractions a second ahead of his teammate Kimi Antonelli. Lando Norris with a late charge to put himself into third place, just in front of his teammate Oscar Piastri. Charles Leclerc, disappointing session, I would say, for the Ferraris. 8.5 tenths back in 5th. Hamilton in 6th. Behrman, good showing by him. Verstappen in 8th place with
Good showing from Ollie Behrman.
there down in 9th. Gasly in the top 10.
And
From
that is that.
Ortoletto in the second
Not
Audi.
what I was
Isaac
expecting.
Hadjar, Esteban
But-
Ocon, the second Haas, 2.1 off.
We'll see. But hey, y'all, I really appreciate you watching. And I'll put out a video kind of going through some of the details of this. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
It's the 2020 CXC Assen.
Oh yeah, AI video. This AI, the AI was so ridiculous I had to make an edit for it.
The
See ya.
lights go out and look at that guy. Let that guy. That's Max Verstappen going vroom. And there's Charles Leclerc, look dramatic in red again. Lewis Hamilton like, yes, hello, I have won many races before. Oh look, George Russell is very serious. And Lando Norris is smiling because memes reason. That's Kimi, they like, hello, I am 19 and driving a spaceship. Ferrari or Kimi Energy, and Isaac Hadjar zooming around, go and promise I am, look there, not crashing today. Carlos Sainz being smooth. Carlos Sainz being smooth, very smooth. And Sergio Perez in his position forever. Meanwhile, Valtteri Bottas, I promise I am not crasses. The rear. Maybe. Who else is here? Fernando Alonso has been racing since dinosaurs. And Lance Stroll is also there like, hello, yes, I'm also here. Mean Gasly appears dramatically into turn 1, and Esteban Ocon appears to him, which is dangerous. Oh, wow. There's Alex Albon doing a heroic midfield overtake. Meanwhile, they're doing a heroic midfield overtake. Meanwhile, Nico Hülkenberg is like, plate, please, podium this time. Please, look, new rookies. Gabriel Bottas zooming, Brazilian energy. Arvid Lindblad appearing out of nowhere like a racing wizard. And Frank Fall far back, a racing wizard. And Franco Colento sliding through a corner like, woo. This race was epic. This race the new epic. Maybe the Bapic. Maybe the batteries are amazing. Because the knee are amazing. And that guy over there. Let's there. Amazing. Who do you think will win? Let's watch.